My first impression was that it was very crowded and sort of crowded with people and cars, and really there's no space to move anywhere. So yeah, especially in Jakarta.
But are there things that excite you?
Well, I think any new environment is exciting. Things like the different style streets, the different sort of smells that you can smell as you're going along, the way people dress. You know, obviously there's the batik, and you see people in sarongs, and sort of, yeah, I mean, there were so many different things. It was sort of like a bombardment of differences that we found, yeah. Probably in the beginning, because things were very different and also very far away from home, from here as well. Probably not as much, because this is I actually lived in Africa before I came here, so I was already sort of used to living abroad, used to living in different cultures with different food and different languages and things like that. So we all feel homesick at some point in time. It's nice to have things which are familiar. You know, like where I come from, there's very few cars. You can walk along the streets, etc., etc. So it's nice, I think, nice to go home. Well, I think the first thing is that you need to learn about the culture. So you need to ask questions about things that you see. I was very lucky because we had a driver who spoke English, so I could ask him questions, and he would tell me, you know, like the good things to eat, or perhaps what people were saying, maybe the best places to go for the things that I wanted. So I think asking questions and really sort of viewing the world with open eyes, so wherever you are, view it. You know, view the differences and try to understand the differences. And really just learning about the new culture that you're in, I think, is really important. Obviously language is useful, you know, just simple things like saying good morning, or understanding the numbers, being able to say numbers, or just simply being able to ask for something that you want. Absolutely, yeah, because I mean, you never take on the new culture in full. You never become, for example, you never become the same culture as an Indonesian, because the values and your beliefs, your cultural aspects will always remain within you, so they're always probably the strongest. But you do absorb a new culture, and you learn how to be more flexible and more adaptable to different cultures, and maybe able to show more understanding. And I think that when you live in a different culture, live and work in a different culture, as a person, it makes you a much more flexible person. And so I think it makes it easier for you when you meet different cultures from then on, because you have your own values, your own culture, which is always going to be the mainstay. But then you have that flexibility of the culture that you're living within, which you can then take and use when you meet other people from other cultures outside. So yes, it does change you, definitely. No, funny enough, no. It's quite pleasant because the cultures are so different. You know, where I come from, I live in a very small town. So I can just walk down the road and I'm in green fields, and it always seems much quieter when I go home. The whole sort of atmosphere of where I am is much quieter than living in Jakarta. I notice the differences. I don't feel negative about the differences. For me personally, no, my home is Indonesia, because I've been here so long. So it feels more like I'm going on a holiday to a new place when I go back home again, and then I come back here and I feel like, oh yes, I'm home now. Yes. Yeah, I recognise I recognise everything that's going on around me and the people, and I can sit back in quite nicely, yes. Although I like going home, but I'm more comfortable here, and I feel more comfortable with the people of Indonesia, perhaps, than I do nowadays with people in my own country, yes.